Oh! Pick a blessing for your next run. I don't need a blessing. Start with a random consumable, start with plus 20 max health, or start with 200 wealth. 200 wealth sounds nice, 20 max health is also not bad. I don't think a random consumable is that great. That's worth about 100 wealth, I would say, on average. Let's go with the 200 wealth. Well, we have checked out one of the Watchers of Tuathan. We have played one of the Children of Morrigan in our first run. Let's check out the Summoner from the Moonring. Base HP is a bit higher than the Sentinel, base damage as well, but lower than the Weird Hunter for both of them. Summoners control deadly minions out of thin air, but they're connected to them via a magical link. Every time a minion gets hit, their summoner receives damage relative to their level. Summoners' minions need to be activated through spells, however they can be promoted and grow in power endlessly. Bye, Red Rover! Thanks for hanging out. Summoners charge their ultimate ability whenever they activate a minion. They can promote a selected minion by specified number of levels depending on the number of charges they spend. Passive skill. Start every combat with a summoned golem, with a summoned abomination, or with a summoned wyrm. I'm gonna go with the golem. I've tried the wyrm before. I know what they do. The golem is more kind of like a tank, but every time they take damage, they reflect some damage back. The abomination does AoE damage, and the wyrm does multiple hits and reduces armor. But he attacks random targets. So let's go with the golem this time around. Golem seems to be very nice because it protects your other minions from getting killed. And the golem has a decent amount of armor, usually. Okay. Oh, we got 220 wealth. A bit more than I expected. Wait, we still have the wooden flute. That is a very powerful relic to start every run with. Well, we didn't get many. We didn't get much plant, but we have 50. We can start each run with 5 armor or with 10 max HP. We can increase our Weirdstone gain or wealth gain. I'm gonna go with the 5 armor. That seems pretty good for the Summoner and the Sentinel. Master of Arms. Can't afford these yet. We can buy a card removal right away, and we can buy a new card. You know what? Let's start with an additional card. Let's take a look at our cards that we have right now. So, first we have a summon card for an abomination, a wyrm and a golem, and a fae. Fae is cheaper, and we can't choose a passive to start with one. So, abomination. Attacks all enemies on the battlefield. Only summons a minion. Only 4 minions can be present on the battlefield at a time. So an abomination increases the damage of all our minions as well. By 15%, 25%, something like that. Then the golem protects all allies by redirecting enemy hits toward itself. And if we activate them, it will heal. The abomination needs to be activated to attack. The golem needs to be activated to heal. And the wyrm needs to be activated to attack as well. They attack random enemies and reduce their armor. They don't have a passive effect though. And the fae, they can't attack. They weaken the enemies by 10% by just being on the field. And they give us ultimate charges when we activate them. We have sigils. Sigils are permanent buffs on minions. They last until their death. And I think if we play a sigil, it remains on the minion until that minion dies. And then we can draw it again. Increases a minion's damage by 50%. And we have our spells. Our ability is 0 cost activating a minion. We also have 3 times activating a minion at 1 cost. And we have 3 times create 10 barrier at 1 cost. We also have 2 times promotion, promote the minion for 1 cost. Immobilization, stun all enemies. That is decent. Conjure the abomination, summon an abomination at level 3 already. So it will do a bit more damage. Death of the Other. Sacrifice a minion, gain an energy and draw 2 cards. We can choose which minion we sacrifice, that minion just dies. I think I'm gonna go for the Conjure the Abomination. Summoning minions at a higher level is pretty nice. Gives us some better damage output right from the get-go. I will also remove a card, and the card I want to remove is the normal Abomination. Now that we have a better one, we don't need the normal one anymore. Abomination. At least I think so. We could stack multiple abominations, but
Blacksmith is hard at work when you...
I'm not sure that's worth it. Let's take a look at the runestones. Reduce armor of all enemies. That could be decent. Increasing damage. I don't know if that matters for our minion damage. I think they have their own damage stats, but I'm not entirely sure. Crack Calc is always nice to draw cards. We don't have the armor one here. That is also one that is particularly useful for the summoner, because the minions take a percentage of their armor stat. I would assume they will also take a percentage of their damage stat. You know, let's find out. Let's buy a Cracked Gar and let's buy a Cracked Calc. No, we wanna... Otherwise we would have to have them in the same slot. I'll take it anyways. Let's go for the additional hit first and the extra draw. Actually, let's start with the other way around. Let's go for the extra damage first, and we can see if that applies to our minions. Not much to do at the Lost Soul. I don't think we have many resources to spend here. We have 31 card shreds. We might actually get something with that. 300, 400, 500. Nope. This is draw more cards in the first turn. So we could draw extra cards on the first turn. That is definitely something I would like to have. And it's somewhat affordable. So let's see. Do we see any milestones? That seems to be a milestone over there. But it's quite far away. And it seems to be in the corner, kinda. We have a couple fights here. Something is glowing over there. Is that a milestone? That seems to be a milestone. That is probably one we want to head towards and ignite. Where is the boss? Is this the boss? Possibly. Possibly. Let's light a candle and see how this summoner thing works. Well, I already know because I did a few fights with one, but I want to show you guys. So right now we have this golem. Passive has redirect. Retaliate with 1 hit, dealing 50% of damage received from all hits, and reduce armor by 10. So whenever they get hit, they lose armor permanently for the remainder of the fight. But they will reflect some damage. Their level increases their max HP and the value that they heal when we activate that. That's what they do if we activate them. Right now they wouldn't heal, they would only heal if we activate them. Now a barrier on the golem will prevent them from losing armor, which is nice. So what we could do here is we could summon the abomination. The Abomination increases the damage of all minions by 15%. Base damage 10 to 15. I wonder if it really uses the damage received or if it uses the base damage of the minion. Both of them seem to have 10 to 15. We have 9 to 13. So it's not like the same. Abomination uses half our armor. Golem uses double our armor. So that I do know is dependent on our stats. They have plus 5 max HP, plus 25% damage for each level. They start at negative base damage. Okay, well at below 100% is what I mean. Let's activate the Abomination, and it doesn't attack. So I want to see, let's protect the Golem and see what happens when the enemy attacks. The Golem takes all the hits because of the redirect they have. It's here. Redirects damage from Nialdunya, my character, and Abomination. The Abomination gets interrupted by stun. So if they get stunned, they will actually stop redirecting damage. Let's see what happens here. Enemies attacking for 8 to 10 against base armor of 10, so they should deal around 8-9 damage, and they should take the same amount back. If we use our damage, we would deal 10 to 15. Let's see. They didn't take any damage at all because the Golem had a barrier, and barrier prevents on-hit effects. That makes sense. We also didn't take damage, even though after we received hit damage, damages summoner for its every level. That didn't happen because, well, we didn't get hit. We're about to take a hit to the Golem, so we will get some damage reflected to us. I am gonna go ahead and promote my Abomination, power up the Abomination, so we increase the damage. 10 to 15, increased by 50%. Also that's a base, so we are doing 20 to 30. But we lose some because, I don't know. Oh, 9 to 13. No, the Abomination is in fact exactly using our damage value. 9 to 13 times 2 is 18 to 26. So their own damage value never gets used in the first place. Let's also summon a Fae so we can see what that does. Fae weakens enemies and grants ultimate charges to its master, decreases the damage of all enemies by 10%, and activation grants ultimate charges equal to its level. Gains HP by leveling up. Uses a fifth of our armor apparently, and has no base damage because it can never attack. So now you're hitting the Golem for 7 to 9. Maybe 6. We'll see how much you hit, how much you get hit. You're at 51 now. You hit for 10 and you hit yourself for 10? You didn't hit for 10. We only lost 8 HP. So you hit for 8 and hit yourself for 10. So it seems like the armor the Golem has wait, you can't even do 10. So it takes your full base damage. You rolled a 10 on your base damage. That got reduced to 9 due to your 90% damage. Then got reduced to 8 because the Golem had 10 base armor at the time. So the Golem took 8, but the reflected damage was the full 10. Either that or the Golem used his own base damage value to determine how much they would reflect. Let's try this again. We're gonna get a barrier so we don't take spill over damage from the Golem. We're gonna hit you down to 16. That's a fine amount. I'm gonna summon a worm just because. The worm attacks random enemies and reduces their armor. Each hit reduces enemy armor by 2 and leaves a hunter's mark. 6 hunter's mark make enemies vulnerable. And the activation is deal 2 hits to random enemies. They start with base damage 10 to 10, it says here. But they would actually attack for 2 times 10 to 14. Our base damage is 9 to 13, increased by 25%. Let me quickly check that. 13 times 1.25 and then times 1.9. That... not times 1.9. 13 times 1.25 times 0.9. That would yeah, that could be floored to 14. I'm just sorry for the math talk. I just want to find out how these minions actually work, because that is important knowledge to me. And the low end damage is 9 times 1.25 times 0.9. That results in 10.125. So that will be floored to 10. So yes, it seems like your damage is actually using my base damage times my percent damage times your percent damage. So increasing my own percent damage is actually a really good way to scale up the damage of these minions, because it's multiplicative. Like if this abomination has 200% base damage, then leveling it up further and adding to this number wouldn't be as big as an increase as somehow increasing my own damage by the same amount. Okay, let's see what the golem does. Golem... this time they did take 10 damage. They had their base armor decreased and you took 10 damage as well. We didn't have armor this time, so that kind of makes sense. But still, you shouldn't be able to roll 10 damage. It says 8 to 10. Is the armor decreased before damage? We need to find an enemy with a different damage range to really test that out. Okay, first level up. That one is always going to be early. We have another conjured abomination. We have immobilization, stun all enemies, or invocation, activate all minions 2 times. I'm going to go for the invocation. That seems quite useful. Every time a minion is promoted, increase your damage by 3%. Quite good. Whenever you summon a worm, increase its damage by 100% until the end of turn. We need to summon it and activate it multiple times for this to be worth it. Increase the damage of each minion at level 5 and above by 25%. Not that exciting, because a minion at level 5 will already have a huge damage multiplier. I think it's much more useful to increase our own damage whenever we promote minions, because that's going to be much harder to find, considering that just leveling our allies often grants them huge amount of extra damage multiplier. Let's go for this milestone. We're gonna boost the range. I think so. That means our journey back is gonna be... Oh! You are not the golem. Legendary encounter. So we have another boss here. That is interesting. Let's not fight the boss just yet. I think we're not that well prepared. We can go for a Treasure Guardian, I think. They are a bit harder, but not that hard. Red King. This enemy won't attack unless it is alone on the battlefield, but it will make all of its allies stronger. Immune to stun. Herd Instinct. Gains plus 30% damage and minus 30% armor for every ally in combat. Long live the king. The king's order boosts their morale. Okay, so they would gain 120 damage and minus 120 armor, but with the Herd Instinct they seem to gain another 10% damage on top of that. We should probably reduce the amount of threats a bit. They are also attacking all enemies. I'm not sure if we want a second golem right away. Having too many minions out right now will mean these attack all skills are gonna be a problem. Red Queen. This enemy increases the damage of its most wounded allies. Okay. Invocation is not gonna be that useful right now. Stun a random enemy or gain 5 barrier. 5 barrier is not a lot, but I don't really want to spend the energy on that. I'm gonna gain 10 barrier and summon a second golem. We'll see if that's worth. I'm gonna activate the golem. That doesn't do anything because it only heals, but it gives us a charge. We haven't looked at our ultimate yet. Ultimate, promote a selected minion. Charging is activating a minion. And we need 4 charges for 1 level, 7 charges for 2 levels, and 9 charges for 3 levels of promotion. Okay, let's see how this works out. This golem is taking all the damage, so they will die pretty quickly. Yeah, the golem is striking back with their own damage number. Their damage doesn't go up when we promote them though. So the golem seems like it would be ill-suited to be a damage dealer, even with the retaliation thing going on. Ally intends... Oh, yeah, that's ally. The Red Queen is not doing anything. Red King is trying to buff. Let's get the Abomination out there. On this character, the barrier actually stays. It doesn't dissipate like on the other one. 11 barrier. If the golem takes all the hits, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. The golem will survive. Wait, that's actually hitting everyone, right? But we can take out some of these rats with the Abomination. Yeah, we're actually not taking any damage here. We will kill the Red Queen eventually. Invocation requires quite a bit of setup. It's okay to not use them all the time. Now you can start attacking, but your damage has gone down quite a bit. What's your base damage? 12 to 14? 4 times 2 to 3. That's not very scary. Let's promote you twice. Increasing our base damage as well as your base damage. Promote you 1 more times with the ultimate and then activate you. And do it again. Some good damage. You will attack the golem 4 times, so you're gonna take some pain. The golem only reflected 1 each hit? Did I see that correctly? I need to make sure to keep an eye on the numbers. Let's summon the worm as well. Gain 10% damage, that's pretty useful. No, that definitely did more than... I didn't pay close enough attention. I can't say for certain that it did more. You know what? We're gonna keep you alive. I wanna find out how this golem works. We can activate our ferry. Get us some ultimate charges. I'm gonna promote the golem. I will deal 4 times 3 to us, 12. That's fine. Golem didn't gain any damage, that's just from the abomination boost. So what would the golem do in damage right now? Like, let's think about this. If the golem would use their own damage, it would be 9 times 1.37 times 1.15. So 14 is the minimum, and 13 times 1.37 times 1.15. 20 is the maximum. So each hit would redirect 13 to 20 damage. No, 14 to 20 damage. So that should be a total of 56 to 80 damage. It only reflected 10 damage in total, which was neither what the red. So it is using the unmodified damage value, like the base damage, not... Well, I think the red attacks something like 4 times 25% of base damage or something. So it uses these 4 times 25% base damage, modified by your armor, and maybe modified by the golem's damage, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Let's finish this. We got a level up. Whispers in the Wind. Whenever the minion activates, it's a sigil, so it's a permanent upgrade on the minion. Draw 1 card and gain 1 ultimate charge. Wow. That seems like a powerful sigil. Shamanic Knowledge. Offer 5% of your max HP. Gain a barrier on all minions and yourself equal to twice the lost HP, and invoke a Fae. Invoke meaning summon minions and instantly activate their powers. Invokes can be played only once per combat. So we summon a minion, we activate the minion, and then the card is lost. Maybe the card is lost, maybe the invoke part is lost, I'm not sure. But we can only use it once per combat. The card, the effect, I don't know yet. Funeral Moon reduced the enemy's damage by 75% for 2 turns. That's a huge debuff. That is a really powerful debuff. 75% for 2 turns. Yeah, I think I take that over Whispers in the Wind. Yes, I do. That helps our defense quite a bit. Let's take a look at the treasure pile. 100 wealth as usual. And we get 10 armor, 30 max HP, or a combat slot for items. Combat items are not really my thing. Well, with the flute, things might change. If we find more items like the wooden... I didn't use the wooden flute against the rats. I should have. Maybe something special would have happened. Let's move through the milestone area to save our candle. We don't want to fight the boss yet. I want to explore some more. I guess we go over there and then come back this way, finish off these enemies off while we are on that route. I'm gonna move towards the next milestone. I'll use another candle. Healer, Peasant, and Red Priest. We have a Golem. Draw 1 card more. Reduce all the armor of all enemies. Sure, let's reduce their armor. Not much to do here. I'm gonna shield myself. Let the Golem redirect some damage. Base damage 8 to 10. Base damage 5 to 7. So we should reflect... Assuming we count their own armor, we should reflect 10 to 12 against you and 6 to 9 against you. Activate the golem, even though we don't really need to, just to gain the charge. I don't really want to promote my golems, because they are getting hit a lot, so we kinda... They only gain max HP and a very small amount of healing, so the promotion seems kind of weak on them. We did 4 and 3. 4 and 3? So it wasn't affected by their own armor. It was affected by... It's not the hit they did. Because they dealt 10 damage but only took 7 in total. And they had negative armor, so... I have no idea how this golem damage reflection works. Let's summon something that can actually deal damage. And increase its damage. These random hits are a bit annoying when the enemies intend to heal. We kind of want to focus the target down here. Invocation seems good, but it would be better if we already had the abomination out. Maybe Invocation was the wrong choice, but it's probably gonna be pretty good in longer fights. You're dealing 11 to 14, you're getting healed though. 61, 56. Yep, no idea how this works. That's not even part of your base damage, nor is it part of the damage you dealt, nor is it part of the golem's base damage. I really can't tell. These numbers seem completely random to me. Which, they are certainly not, but... $18 to 23, 8 to 10. So I would expect the reflection of 8 to 10 reduced by 25%, so 6 to 7 perhaps. We did 8, 6 to 8, yes, that kind of makes sense. Activate them all. Well, if anyone knows how these summon stats and damage values work, be nice if you could let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it this way.
Good day, stranger. Are you in need of some guidance?
Guidance? Sure, sounds good. Talking Skull, Tome of Knowledge, Blood Candle, Oversaturated Runestone. Blood Candle might be worth it. But it's expensive. It's too expensive for me. Don't want to pay 120 and some health for a weird candle right now. Let's boost the range. Now we can go over here. We should take out this guy as well. We can do so without losing any weird candle charges. So that's nice. We have Bounty Hunter debuffs, Abomination, AoE damage is potentially scary. But that also means our golem is gonna reflect a lot of hits back on you. Let's use a Fae. Let's set up some barriers on myself so the golem doesn't hurt me too much. I'm also gonna promote the Fae and activate it to start gathering some ultimate charges so that once I get my damage unit I can immediately get to promote it a bunch. You're attacking for 2. Is your base damage that low? No. Apparently the attack you're using is just that bad. So all the damage from this, the redirection, is condensed into one hit, it seems. So that is interesting. How are you up? Activate and activate again. Oh, you're actually still standing. Not much longer though. You know, I really like golems at level 1 because they don't redirect a lot of damage to me and they are still pretty durable. Oversaturated runestone, that is nice. Conjure golem, golem at level 3. I think our level 1 golems are good enough. Create 10 barrier for every minion currently in combat and activate 2 random minions. This can activate the same minion 2 times, by the way, so it's potentially quite good, but with the golem, the activation isn't that important. I'm gonna go for the arcane shield. That's gonna be a pretty decent... Oh, never mind. Suddenly activating golems becomes really good. And whenever a golem is activated, reduce the energy cost of a random card in your hand by 1. Increase the max HP of all minions by 10% or start every combat with 20 barrier. That's also really good. Let's try to build around these golems a bit more. I am not convinced that that is actually good. But if we don't try it, we will probably not find out.
You greet the former prisoner, but he still doesn't answer. He rattles his chains in a rhythm, as if trying to communicate. You can't understand what these clattering sounds might mean.
Let's train with them. Fighting Spirit, gain 5% damage each turn. Quintessence, every 10th hit in combat is doubled. Or Explosive Strength, increase the maximum damage you deal by 3. Maximum damage deal by 3. We deal what? 9 to 13 right now? Nine to 13, I think it is. So that would make it 9 to 16. That would be an average of 12.5. It's an increase of... We already have a way to scale our damage percentage. I'm gonna scale my base damage some more. Because these are multiplicative, and multiplicatives are great. That's the way to really gain significant damage numbers. I wanna... Wait. Where are we? Yeah, that's not the direction I wanna take. But I might as well, now that I'm already moving in this general direction. Two infected humans and an abomination. That doesn't seem too bad. We don't have any way to summon anyone right now. I don't really want to promote my golem. Does that mean we are just stuck shielding ourselves? I'm gonna activate my golem anyways, just for the ultimate charge. Alright, we should activate our golems. We don't need to promote them, but activating is fine. Well, we have enough shields that we can promote them, so they actually heal a bit more when we activate them. Still nothing to summon. I wonder what power up does on the golem. Stun all enemies for 2 turns or gain 40 barrier. I think the 40 barrier is much more useful, especially considering these guys are about to explode. So what are you doing now? You're hitting me for... You're hitting the golem for 6 apparently. And you took 11? Did I see that correctly? Still no idea how that stuff works. I think while I could activate my golem to reduce the cost of my cards, the activations are actually what deals my damage, so... With this much barrier, we're not really vulnerable at all. Cracked Calc. Time to merge. We now heal more after each combat. I think we should now switch these. Reduce the armor of all enemies by 10, increase max HP. Yeah. It's the armor slot that we don't have anything great. But free hit every turn. I guess that's okay. The Piper again. Can you teach me any other songs? Give wooden flute.
I can.
Song of armor reduction. Reduce all enemies' armor. Song of a berserker. Increase everyone's armor. Song of a guardian. Gain a barrier. Okay. How much? 20 barrier once per combat. Oh man, that's so good. These pipes are very strong. I'm not even using them right now, but like I don't have to. But this one I should just use at the start of every fight. We have to this one immediately, that's nice. I would like to play the Invocation. And we might have a chance if we activate the golem twice. We can't activate the golem twice. But I'm still gonna activate the golem. Maybe summon a free Fae. The invocation got reduced. That sucks. Let's promote you. I'm not gonna summon a Fae, I guess. Use your damage because we can. Power up. Promote. And then activate. Twice. Crackhead Stan. It's another good one to have in the weapon and not so amazing for the armor. Blacksmith.
What am I doing here? Well, looking for resources, obviously. Here, look what I found recently.
Just one runestone? Yeah, I guess that's okay. So the blacksmith can show up as well again, huh? Let's gain some barrier, summon the aberration, summon a Fae, power up the aberration and start throwing some damage at the enemies. Invocation is starting to become good. with our golem cost reducing 2 cards when we play it. Hit the worm, sadly. Didn't hit the worm again. That was like the most useless cards we could have gotten reduced there, but it's fine. Because we will still be out of this fight in pretty much no time. And especially we're not taking damage here. Suddenly the golem hit really hard against this healer. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe the damage reflected is just random between 1 and 15 or something.
Traveler. There's something I'd like to ask you, if you have the time.
Oh? What do you need?
There's a Brock somewhere out there. It's a prison in which they're keeping my innocent friend. A man who trained me and taught me everything I know about combat.
Oh.
Whenever I get close, there's some force which prevents me from entering it. So I'm unable to break my friend out. Maybe you'll have more luck. Could I ask you to help him out so he doesn't rot away in a cell?
I already did.
The man is visibly surprised as he listens to your story. He's even more surprised to learn that his friend lives in your village.
Thank you. Then please greet him from me.
Nice. Learn a new skill or forget a skill. I kind of want to forget a skill. What would I forget though? I can look at the journal, but oh no, I can look at my character panel. So power up seems like a very good, or a pretty decent sigil, pretty decent card. I don't think I want to forget the golem. I want to be able to summon more of them. Wyrdness might be important in single target fights. Maybe the Fae? I'm not too impressed by the Fae. Ritual, possibly. We have the flute for the starting armor, we have arcane shield, and our golem is protecting us from damage most of the time. Yeah. I'm gonna get rid of a barrier. Actually, we have to do that here. I better not get rid of the ability. That would be bad. We are over here. We're gonna move this way. Let's zoom out a bit here. Oh, can I interact with these gravestones? No, I can't. Without fighting. Yeah, you have to enter the radius there. We want to get a bomb out there. The Fae is pretty good with the evoke everyone thing. I want to play an arcane shield, but honestly I probably don't even need it. Create 20 barrier can be used once per combat. Create actions can be targeted, used on yourself or minions. I can't. Wooden Flute does not allow me to target this. I never get the chance to target it. We promote you, that's for certain. Reduce damage of all enemies, reduce the cost of a random card by 2. We wanna get the cost reduction. Let's activate you a bunch. And gain 10 burial. 20 burial. 10 for each minion. You negate hits under 12. Luckily our abomination is easily hitting higher than that. Oh, invocation into Yeah, that's a lot of attacks. Oh, barrier got reduced. Maybe the power up gets reduced also. Nice. This seems pretty powerful. I really like the invocation now. Offer 10% of your max HP, invoke 2 golems. Why would I want to invoke golems? They come into play healthy. We don't need to activate them. Oversaturation. At the start of each turn, activate a minion. Oh hey, promote and activate all minions. Maybe that's something we do. I like invocation better, but that might be worth adding to our deck. Oversaturation seems quite good though. I think I prefer that. We will be able to promote our minions over time with the ultimate in longer fights.
You enter an old cemetery. It reminds you of more peaceful times when people had the luxury of burying their dead properly and returning to pay their respects. However, the cemetery is not a place you should linger, especially this close to the Wyrdness.
Let's loot some
You
graves.
didn't notice the shift, but suddenly, instead of walking among human graves, you now walk among rugged, gigantic plates of weird stone.
Uh-oh.
It seems to form a labyrinth of sorts, but you can't see any pattern to it. This place looks like a cemetery of giants, or perhaps of the Four Dwellers. Did the Four Dwellers bury their dead? Whatever this place is, lingering here doesn't seem like a good idea.
But I want to linger around here. I want to find out.
While wandering around, you notice something shiny glinting on the ground. After a moment of hesitation, you pick it up.
Wow, that was worth it. Quite a bit of wealth there. We move over here, fight this guy, then move over there. Oh, that's one of the entryway guardians. We don't want another golem, we don't want power on the golem. We don't want to promote the golem, but it looks like we're just gonna be able to play out everything here. So I guess we'll do that. Sure. And at least gives us a decent amount of summoner charges. And we increase our damage multiplier a bit. Wait, our base damage is 7 to 14. Right, we switched off the rune. We changed the runes, right? Yes, we did. Let's summon something that can actually deal damage actively. We want to promote the Worm. It's an easy invocation with 2 golems out there. That means we're gonna get 4 cost reduction. And we also kill the enemy. Okay, that leaves this guy. We can directly cross this puddle. So, which is the shortest way? Guess we move around this way. I'm not gonna reignite my weird candle because this fight is in the range of the milestone. What are you? Ah, a shaman. Okay. Well, having 2 golems out can be nice sometimes. Don't really want to promote them, but might as well. Just for damage I gain when promoting minions at all. I should have played the Funeral Moon. Let's put that on the Bounty Hunter. Doesn't really matter. None of them are really gonna deal any significant damage. There is our... Maybe I should have started with the Invocation. Just cost reduce stuff a bunch. Summon a Fae. And just go for the damage. Can we kill? We probably can. Promote. Power up. Promote. Activate. Okay. Cracked Ether. Is that the final one we need? No. Oh, that's the increase armor one. I'm gonna switch that in. That is quite useful. Oh, for talk.
Roguelite. For a moment, I thought you might be my mother, finally returning. Silly me. I haven't seen her for a while, but that's okay. I have my stones. Do you want some?
I want some. Let's take a rare one. Cracked Nid. Runestones. Nid. For every point of unused energy, increase your damage by 50% next turn. For every point of unused energy, draw 1 additional cards next turn. I don't think that's gonna be that useful for us. Is there anything left to explore? There is one more enemy there, over there, and one more over here. Actually, we can get closer if we use this route. A Mindbender and an infected human. We start out with a Worm in our opening hand, I like it. We also have the oversaturation for the Worm, and then we can start promoting them. We can gain some shield with the Flute. And let's get that Worm going. I think it's just Invocation, right? Hopefully reduce the cost of the ritual. Start of each turn, activate this minion. You're gonna die to the golem though. Meat, restore 5 HP. Huh. I won't say no to that. Cracked Stand, and finally allows us to merge them. 50 max HP, reduce armor of all enemies by 17. If we had a good way to heal in combat without using our armor rune slot, then we would try to make use of that max HP. But
All Mother's shrines were a common sight across Avalon. Despite their grim existence, settlers were grateful to the goddess, and they had good reason to be. For every 10 people who set sail for Avalon, only 4 would reach the island, and only 1 or 2 would survive the first year. The shrine has faint traces of power lingering in the air. A priestess materializes out of the Wyrdness and asks what it is that you're looking for.
ask for healing, ask for a blessing, rob the shrine. That sounds like it has some downsides. Get a legendary card. I have seen that one before. It's useful, but it only has limited charges. We don't need healing. You know what? I don't like it, but I want to find out what's behind this. Let's drop the shrine.
Try to force the priestess to comply with your will. She begins to speak. Her incomprehensible words sound like slime dripping through dried reeds. As you struggle to understand her, she disappears into the weirdness.
New status, silence. All healing disabled. Well, that's quite a price to pay. But I think with our barrier we might be okay. With our barriers. I light the last weird candle. The boss is inside the area, I don't have to. I think I should be fine fighting this guy on low burn level. Deal 1 hit for 3 to 7, if not played next turn lose 50% damage, that's gonna be permanent, so we wanna avoid that. We have a Funeral Moon. We have a power up for our air bomb. We activate her and we play the weird card just to get rid of it. I forgot to activate my wooden flute. That is, well, 2 HP that I lost that I can't get back. Although that might be a curse and I've seen ways to remove curses. So maybe that is something we can actually undo. Cracked calc, we take those. And let's take a look at the hunting ground.
Call this ancient skull the Stag Father and lay charms and offerings around it. The legends say the Stag Father takes the dreamers away to join him on a
The
great
sleeping
hunt.
is good, it's a combat, and if you win you get to remove 2 cards, I think, which is very strong. I want to see what the hunt for food does. We fight 2 frightened deer. This creature is desperate to fight for its life. Oh, poor deer. They are attacking for 1 each hit. It's not a whole lot. Let's make sure to use this. Worm or Abomination. The worm is cheaper. I don't think that matters too much. When the Abomination is already leveled. Yeah, these deer only took 1 damage on each reflection. As you'd expect. Blood. No wealth, not much experience. But we got 10 meat. So that's a lot of healing that we can use. Is out of combat healing also disabled? I would assume so. We don't see it here in our passives. It does show up in combat, but it doesn't show up anywhere else. I could just eat 1 food to test it out. Healing disabled. Nope, we can't heal out of combat either. And time for the boss fight. What are you? Vran the Sullen. This enemy casts powerful buffs to inspire his ally and deals a heavy attack whenever his companion dies. We have strength in number for every other living renegade, plus 10% damage. Magical Buffing Axe grants 30 barrier, applies Unbridled Frenzy at the start of the round. We don't know what Unbridled Frenzy does. They do have reduced damage. Leader of the pack, for every other renegade alive, minus 10 armor, minus 25% damage. Killing him ends the fight instantly. And we have... Wait, minus armor? And we have the Renegade Protector. Redirects damage from Ren and Renegade Cutthroat. This gets interrupted by stun. We don't really have stuns. For every other living Renegade plus 5 armor. Let's summon another Golem. Arcane Shield. We will also use the Wooden Flute. I'm gonna activate the Golem to reduce the cost of one of my cards. Do it again. I wanna get the Invocation reduced. Didn't get it though. I could play the Oversaturation on a Golem just for the reduction every turn. You are the enemy. This enemy is the main damage dealer in the group. This enemy casts barriers and redirects damage from the whole group. Okay. Oh. Magical Buffing Axe. Unbridled Frenzy. Increase the power of this enemy's ultimate attack. Oh. Huh. So the axe jumps over? Because you no longer have the axe. Well. Do we go for a Worm or an Abomination? Worm seems more useful, I think. Because of the armor reduction they gain. Let's promote the Worm first. You know, I kinda wanna play Ritual. I'm gonna activate my Golem. Not Ritual, Abomination. I'm gonna activate my Golems. Well, Promotion is also nice. The reflect damage also gets redirected. Interesting. 5 times 19? Uh-oh. It's a lot of damage. We can summon a Fae to reduce the damage a bit. But that's about it. Power you up. Activate you as well. Right, we are hitting the Renegade Protector with our stuff, and they have 75 armor. At least the Worm does reduce their armor a little bit. Our armor values have also been destroyed. I'm gonna heal the Golem and put a barrier on them, so they might survive this monstrous attack. Did it survive? That should make everything else cost 0. We probably should have used our ultimate beforehand. Because now we waste a lot of charges. Okay, buffer my shield. Promote this Worm to be incredibly big. The armor is slowly going down. That's good at least. Magical Buffing Axe again, so you are getting ready to use your ultimate again. Well, this time we have Funeral Moon on you. 0%, but you're still hitting for 1, so that seems to be the minimum. One down. This does increase your damage, I think, but decrease this one's damage. Okay. A Golem with the healing every turn, just by base. It's really doing a good job keeping my other units and myself alive. Spend our charge and then... Yeah, this is gonna fill our ultimate completely with the Fae. Oh, we already used it this turn. Wow. Yeah, we seem quite hard to stop at this point. Wyrm is also doing quite a nice amount of damage here. 40 shield, I will take it. We are gonna buff the Wyrm to level 14. Activate it. Actually, we should have promoted it first. No need to promote it any further. It's doing enough damage right now. We can just activate it as often as possible and that will be good enough. Well. Deals a heavy attack whenever his companions die. 14 to 18? I wouldn't exactly call this a heavy attack. Considering the other guy did a 19 times... 5 times 19. Yeah. That was pretty effective. That giant Wyrm did a ton of damage. The golems just never died. And we got another weird candle. Synergy. Offer 5% of your max HP, invoke Fae and Wyrm. Sacrifice a minion, stun all enemies. At the end of each turn the minion gains 10 barrier. That's not bad on a golem, I guess. But none of these really excite me. I'm gonna reroll. Oh, we only get to see 2 cards. Activate a minion, heal it by 50% of its HP. Place a redirect effect on an enemy for 2 turns. Oh, that allows us to focus. That's good. If you only have 1 minion alive, promote it at the start of each turn. That's not how we roll. Increase the amount of armor reduced by the Wyrm's hits by 1 for each of its level. That seems nice. Furious Anger, increase the damage of all minions by 10%. No. That is very tiny. Let's take the Poisonous Fang. The armor reduction increase is gonna be good.
This feels like an echo of something that happened before. Like then, you're left with the sensation of a strange power growing within you.
Passive. Remove a card or take the Wyrdstone heart. Oh, we have to skip the passive skill to take the heart. Well, let's try. Restore 50% of your missing HP, allows you to brave the Wyrdness without any repercussion. But we have to keep them, right? We can't consume them. We have to burn them at the statue for the final boss. So there is a downside to that. Like, you have to not take the passive skills. Hi, scientist.